What's good, y'all? Welcome to episode 10 of the No Warning Shot podcast. Your boy B Miller back in the building, here with CO.
What's up?
Bula.
Yeah.
Hey, today we are honored to have a distinguished guest with us. We have Mr. 10th degree black belt himself, great Grandmaster Tony Thompson. He was co-founder of the West Coast World Martial Arts Association alongside Grandmaster Ernie Reyes. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing outstanding.
You doing outstanding?
Oh, I got it.
Thank you for having us, man. We appreciate
Can I
it.
jump right in? I just want to know how many butts you had to kick to get 10th degree. 10th degree?
First of all, I'm a big teddy bear, so
Don't let the black belt fool you.
Right.
You got me one time.
Put you down with what?
Let's put it
One
this way.
finger.
Me and my partner, we've been training together for over 53 years.
Nice.
And you're still training, right?
Now, yesterday.
70 years old, sir?
No, I won't be 70 for 2 more months.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my
Still
69.
training.
Are you training youth right now?
We have an average of about, I would say, 15,000 students throughout the country.
Nice.
We have 40 different locations from New Jersey to Texas to California. We've expanded pretty much for a
Nice.
long time.
Let's rewind a little bit. How did you first get into martial arts?
When I first got into it, I had moved to Milpitas and I was looking for a job. And they had where I can open up this little warehouse for people to do karate, right? So I said, okay, I'll open it up. So when I opened it up, I figured since I'm going to be there's a lot of little kids. When I opened it up, I figured I might as well train with them. One thing led to another. Then I went over to college, and that's where I met my lifetime friend, Ernie.
So how did you guys come up with the idea to start the association?
Well, we took a class together. It was a taekwondo class that we took together, and then we became like instant friends. You know how sometimes you meet somebody and you just know deep down inside he's a good person?
Yeah.
That's where I was at with him.
Nice.
And we've been training together ever since.
You guys ever have a little friendly rivalry with one another?
Not really, because I was a fighter.
Okay.
He was a form expert. So, we're both, we got on the national circuit where we're traveling from city to city every month, anywhere from Florida Nationals to Minnesota Diamond Nationals. So we're always traveling.
Okay.
Right?
Was there
every weekend?
Was there a lot of African American men in this practicing taekwondo at that time?
To be honest with you, it was.
It was?
Let me show you the atmosphere. Most of the people training was black people, but most of the owners was Asian.
Okay.
And I said a long time ago, this is not going to happen in this sport.
Right.
And that's when I started thinking business-wise of what we're going to do or how we're going to form this association.
Nice.
So it turned out pretty good.
I see you doing well for yourself.
I'm doing okay.
Yes. Absolutely.
So my question would be this: from everything that you've learned, as far as like from the Asians or from whoever else taught, how do you teach our young people now? Like, is it
With the cell phones and all that, right?
yeah,
Has time changed?
or you just come in, you're just like, we're going to start from square one and we're going to move it up? Because I know there's a lot of people who go through different like trainings that have been through different mixed martial arts, and so from there, like, what do you do?
I think in that respect, it's all about the mindset. Yeah, we can go into the physical training, we can do all that stuff, but let me tell you, it's all about the mindset. Before you can teach a student, you got to make sure mentally he's thinking right. It's like attitude. Attitude always says life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% how I react to them. So if you get that in those kids' mind when they're training, they're going to understand it. So the foundation of martial arts, I think, is the mindset.
Nice.
And with that mindset, I know you're my uncle. I've known you for a long time, so it's
I
quite
hope
put down the table. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever have to use any of that martial arts on Chris to get him in line?
One finger.
One finger.
Right.
One time. Damn. Got you. But no, but using that mindset, where was that mindset created from? I know that you told me plenty of times, but I think for the crowd, for our people listening, where that mindset come from? Did it come from like yourself, driven, what do you call that? Seminars you go to?
I've been to every seminar you can think of, anything from Anthony Robbins to whatever. I love going to seminars, and that's why I started doing firewalks.
That's
And
right.
if you ever did a firewalk, you know
Yeah,
it can
actually
be
step on some
done.
coals.
What is a
Oh,
firework?
yeah.
Oh, we walk on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, literally. Oh,
Oh,
no.
I
I was like,
African people have been doing that for eons.
right.
So why can they do it and we're not doing it now?
Right.
It's all about the mindset.
the mindset, right.
So, I mean, that's where it's all at. I think the foundation of anything we try to create, anything we try to do, it's all about the mindset.
Right.
Once you get that straight, you're on.
I remember when I was young, that 110%.
Yep.
That's your guys' thing, right?
Yeah.
Get 100. I was like, I ain't got 110.
Right.
Nah, but you got to
I
get
got
it.
100.
You may get 20% now, 50% now. By the
Right.
time you get to black belt,
Mhm.
say they're at 80%. Then
Right.
it's up to the instructors to give them that last
Yep.
20%.
And then push them. Okay.
And then that's what makes a whole person.
All right.
Nice.
So in martial arts, my question would be this. I know you can do whatever you want to do to somebody right now. Because you can, cause you feel like that. 'Cause you feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you carry yourself is so humble.
Right.
Like, what kind of training makes it separate to where you're humble, but I know you can flip that switch if you want to.
That's not even the question.
Right.
I think the way you treat other human beings is how you want to be treated. We've been hearing that all of our lives, right?
Yes.
But I think the deep down inside is that being humble. I've always wanted to be this type of person that really quiet but carry a big stick. I've always wanted to be the guy behind the scenes to make things work.
Right.
So, that's where the humbleness comes in. And then when you're young, you get your butt beat.
Right.
Of course,
It take one good time.
of course you're going to take, you're gonna take your time.
Definitely.
Right.
But that's where it's at.
Real quick, I want to jump back into something CL said about the mindset. There's a lot going on in the country, in the world right now, especially for African American people of color in general. The mindset that you were speaking of, how is it? How can we get to a place with our mindset where we're able to get above all the negative stuff that's going on in the world? How can we help? What kind of advice do you have to help us stay on a positive mindset?
Education.
Education.
Very simple. I'm not talking about going to college, reading the books, getting a degree. That's one thing.
Right.
But educating your mind. Anybody can read a book. Once you learn to read a book. But it's all about education. And once you start reading, you're going to look at different cultures. You're going to look at the black culture. You're going to look at the Indian culture, the Chinese culture. And everything has a silver lining.
Right.
So when I start educating myself and looking at different cultures and how they get along, right, then it's no problem.
Right.
Before you know where you can go, you got to know your past.
Facts.
Definitely.
So
Big
you
facts.
study. That's
Big
simple.
facts. Big facts. You want to ask about
I got a
the segregation?
Oh,
Let's jump into
yeah.
that.
So we were just talking about this last week, which struck me by is segregation. That you're one of the first black students to segregate in Oakland. Tell me about that.
How was that?
I was saving for the pod.
All right.
You know what I mean?
First of all,
Yeah.
I was really upset with my mom because this is what happened.
Right.
So the principal called me into the office, right? So I'm like, okay, and they bring me in there and they say, well, we want you to go to the school because I was graduating from James Madison Junior High School, and they wanted me to go to the school. I said, okay, no big thing. All my older brothers and sisters, they went to Calcimont. But they sent me up to this school called Skyline, right? And when I went up there to Skyline, the first thing I seen all these cops. I seen all these white people holding signs, nigga go home, monkey go home. We don't want you here. I didn't
In
know what
Oakland?
the
This is in
hell.
Oakland.
This is in Oakland.
That's crazy because you never
This
think
is in
about.
Oakland.
That's
I
crazy.
said, I was born.
Hey, and we went through some trying times up there because you can imagine there's probably like 10 black kids in the whole school. I mean, I could tell you some stories that just would kind of blow you away. I'll tell you one.
we got time.
Just one. So me and this guy took this test. We had the same answers. We kind of knew it. So when we got our grades back, he got a B, I got a D. So I'm pissed off, right? So I'm going up there and I'm confronting the teacher and say, hey, what's going on? She says, oh, your penmanship was bad.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Same content,
Same
same answers,
But your penmanship.
but my penmanship was bad.
Right.
And then I realized what was going on.
Right.
It wasn't my penmanship. They just, for some reason, didn't want us to get ahead.
I mean, well, we know the reason. I mean, that's why we say this problem is systemic, because it's in education, it's in healthcare, it's in employment, it's in housing. The issue that we face is multifaceted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's deep down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I'm from Sobrante Park. You know about Sobrante Park.
Okay.
One way in, one way out.
Okay.
It's the bottom of the scale.
I've been with it.
There you go. So I went there and I was angry because I went to Skyline High School and the white people didn't want me up there. And then I go home back to the park. Like, were you too good for us?
Yeah, right. You're right.
So I'm caught
That's
right
a whole
in
other
the middle,
That's a
right?
whole
So
other issue.
this angry kid, and I'm like 14, 15. And I'm in
karate.
I'm in, no. Let me get to your point. I got to Arroyo Park, took a nap, woke up with a gun in my hand, talking about joining the Black Panthers.
Oh, wow.
I was that angry. And then all of a sudden it hit me. It's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm not going to kill nobody. I'm not going to hurt. This is not right.
Right.
There's got to be a better way for me to handle my anger.
Sure.
I mean, by the time I got out of high school, and I moved to Milpitas, and I went to Air High School for 1 year, all of my friends went out to a college. And I asked my girlfriend at the time, well, what's college?
Wow.
But no, just think about the reason.
Right.
That means that I was in high school
And
for almost 4 years. Nobody
They
talked
never
to me
prepared
about
you for
college.
college.
Right.
Nobody mentioned it to me. And that's systemic. That's what you're talking about.
That's what you're talking about.
They was just trying to get me to the system. But eventually, I went to San Jose City College. I worked my butt off because my girlfriend's over at San Jose State. You know how that
Trying to
goes.
get there to
Hey,
it.
got in there. Hey, I got in there.
Right.
Got
For
my
no other
degrees.
reason, that's a good reason.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a good reason.
yeah, that was it.
How old were you when you first got into karate? Was that during your high school years?
When I first moved to Milpitas, I was 17. And that's where I opened the school for these little kids taking karate. So for me, it was the start of a beautiful life.
Okay.
That's the way I can look at it.
Okay.
Right now, what I do is I go to talk to a lot of colleges, right? And I explain what segregation was back then versus what is happening now. It's basically the same thing.
We're still segregated.
It's the same. The only difference is videos. It's been happening to us for years.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Well, I think when you guys did it though, you guys set the pavement how to really battle with as far as the marches and doing different things. Because now we're doing the same thing you guys were doing, but you guys started it.
Right. No, I can remember my first walkout at Air High School. I was like, I think the 11th or 12th grade. It was before Martin Luther King got killed. And all the white teachers are saying, no, you can't do this, you can't do this. But deep down inside, I knew something had to be done.
Yes, sir.
Plus, I didn't have to go to school there. Let's talk about it.
Day off.
Day off.
Right.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so talking about moving to Milpitas, I know that everybody looked at Grandma like she was crazy. Grandma, she was like, yo, what are you doing? Moving out of here, right?
All right, let me paint the picture. All right. You know what the park is, those little bitty houses.
Yeah.
And there's 10 of us in this house, right? 10 of us. So you
kids.
can imagine
10
what's
kids.
going on there. But then my mother at the time, she realizes the only way that we're going to be successful is to get out of Oakland. That was the only way. I mean, too many of I've been seeing people get killed on the street for nothing.
Right.
9, 10 years old. So
Right.
I think that's the best thing she ever did.
Right.
Since we moved out here, out of 9 of us, 5 of us graduated from college.
Right.
If we would have stayed in Oakland, it wouldn't happen.
Right. My family had a similar story. My family, we left East Palo Alto during the time when East Palo Alto was the murder capital, and it was for the main reason that my parents wanted to give a better,
about the same time.
another opportunity for me and my brother not to have to go through that.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I still ended up going to prison. but my parents made that sacrifice because they wanted to get us out of that situation.
Just think about it. That one decision changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
Not only your family life, but it changed your kids' lives and everybody else. sometimes unconsciously we make decisions, but it affects so many people.
So many people, right? It could be a ripple effect.
Oh, it's definitely a
Hey,
ripple
I look at it like that, but I look at it like this: like my parents, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same
During that
these
time
fellow
period,
walks, same
on fire.
moved out because they wanted to give us a better life.
Mm-hmm.
Their lives are great,
Mm-hmm.
so they wanted to do the right thing for us.
Right.
We just chose to go a different direction.
Right.
Yeah.
Now here we back now talking about it.
Talking
Yeah.
about it. Now we try to make sure our kids don't
Don't
make
do the
it.
same thing, right? I mean,
Right.
I mean, to me, the biggest thing is that, like, a lot of us will graduate and get out of that system.
Mhm.
The question is, what are we doing for the people that's
still-
in the
That's
system?
still
Okay.
there, right?
Those who didn't get out.
Right.
How are we moving it forward with them
Right.
to make a difference in
that-
society?
And that's how we bring each other up, right? It's like
Mhm.
if you don't look back and say, "Hey, I came out of this. What are we doing for the next person?" It's never gonna happen.
Right.
No. So we
And
always
that's
have to
how
look
I
out.
believe society has cut ties with a lot. They put us in situations, give us some money, give us
Right.
things we want, and we forget about what's going on
Everybody
behind
else.
us. You know,
Mhm.
we're like, "Oh yeah, I bought this new house, I bought this," and you forget about these people.
Those people
Right.
back
Right.
there.
We become very individualistic in the society.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's built that way.
Like,
You know,
without
it's like
themselves.
distractions.
It is.
Mhm.
It's built
Well,
that way.
especially like right now. Like I know people who are getting more unemployment than they've ever gotten. Like, so they looking like, oh yeah, he's good in the
Yeah.
White House.
You still
Right.
with
Yeah.
When July hits and
Right.
that 600 gets gone,
Right.
now you're back to normal.
I know they talking about a second stimulus
Yeah.
check coming.
Yeah.
You guys.
I ain't mad at them.
Come on,
Hey,
man.
it's an election year, bro. They're gonna
Right,
try to do everything they can.
No, but in reality, we all know that this is how it goes during election years,
Mhm.
and we all know that everything that's gold is not.
It ain't glitter.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
good.
good.
Glitter ain't gold, right?
Right.
The question is, how long lasting is it?
Right.
See, we can all make change,
Mhm.
Right.
but it's the type of change that's going to last for a long time.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. That's what brings me back why I asked you to be on the show, right?
Right.
I asked you to be on the show because you're one of those people that I always looked up to. Somebody always like, yo, even though I was going astray, I always knew like, hey, he got me
I
kind
got
of centered.
you.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Like, you always told me, man, get your shit together. I'll mess with you. We'll do this. That. I was like, okay. And I kept on doing my own thing. But I always knew I can always be balanced with you somehow, some way. So, but you were a person that, came through, did what you did, brought other people up along the way. I mean, I remember sitting with you and you're going through college applications to give scholarships to kids you don't
Nice.
even know. You know what I mean? And I remember just saying, like, you want to listen to the story. Like, that was something that struck home with you. So that was something that always resonated with me. And that's why I wanted to bring on here, is just to show people that, hey, even though you are black or whatever your circumstances are, there's a better pinnacle you can put yourself at.
Mhm.
Society ain't going to put you there. You got to put yourself there. And you've
Right.
been always so strong.
You got to give back.
Yeah.
Let me explain. I came from Sobriety Park.
Mhm.
Went through the whole segregation. Went through college. But my basic principle was, how can I help my community?
Mhm.
And I've gotten those opportunities because I did so much community work out there. I attracted the right type of people.
Mhm.
Right out of college, I was running this drug program called Dismiss. It's called Pathways now.
Oh yeah, okay, I
It's
know
the
about
same
it.
thing.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
all.
just
Okay, I
being
know about that,
being
yeah.
a counselor, right?
Well, I don't know about
But
it,
because
but
because
I heard about it.
because
I
I
used to
know
drop you a package.
Yeah. because I knew so many people, it got to a point that I met the right people,
Right.
and I kept going on, serving on boards of the YMCA, of the businesses and Mel Peters and stuff like that. Then I met some key people, and next thing I know, I'm board of what's called ESO, Economic Social Opportunity.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
the government gave me a sponsorship of $110 million to use over a 10-year period. Basically, we got $10 million a year.
Yeah.
But the program was for helping single mothers,
Mhm.
kids with HIV, elder people who, if they couldn't pay their PG&E, that's what that money was for.
Mhm.
But in order for me to control it, I had to go to Harvard.
Mhm.
Now, you can imagine going from Sobriety Park
To
and all of a sudden
To
you're in
Harvard.
Harvard with all these guys. But let me tell you what I learned. these boys ain't got nothing on
Oh,
me.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't do nothing we can't
So
do.
how did you get to Harvard though?
Because in order for me to get and oversee the money, I had to go take courses that would show you how to control the money. Because the biggest thing that happened with black nonprofits, they misspend their money.
Okay.
Physically, they misspend their money, and that's how come a lot of them went down. I'm pretty sharp with money.
Right.
Money, I know. So, you know, since I was chairman of the board, I had to go back there and take their extensive, you know, like most sports athletes would go back there and take their business courses.
Right.
I had to go back there and take courses on 501(c), which is nonprofits. And basically we got together with the Boy Scouts, with the art museums, and they show you how to raise money, how to keep foundations alive and stuff like that. So I just went over there and I learned it, and then I brought it back where I used it here in Santa Clara County. But I also use it in my business too.
Right.
Why not?
Right.
Is that when you were awarded the award from Harvard, right? Harvard.
No, I was just given a degree.
Oh, degree. Okay.
But I met this guy named Julian Bond. If you guys
Julian Bond. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, if you don't know who he is, he was the head of the NAACP. He was an ambassador to whatever that world program is. But he took me under his wing for like 3 months. Not just the court. He took me up under his wing and he talked to me. He said, what black folks have to do in order to achieve this. First thing we do is when we're confronted with something, we always water it down. He says, don't do that. You got to tell them exactly where it is. You got to be forceful, but you can't let them get away with it.
Right.
If you start letting them give them an inch, what they're going to take? Exactly. So you learn.
Right.
You know, just like he was a mentor to me. Now I have to be a mentor to people like you guys coming up.
Right.
You guys need to hear these stories.
Right.
Because if you know your past,
you know where you're going.
you know where you're going.
Definitely.
Absolutely. That's dope.
I thought you were going to jump in.
Oh,
absolutely.
Well, speaking about the NAACP, so right now, all the stuff that's going on, we haven't heard too much from them. Do you know why?
No, I could surmise, though.
Okay.
The guy that's in charge of Santa Clara, his name is Tony. Pretty good friend of mine. I think what's happening is you're seeing it on a national level, but you're not seeing it on a very local level. Let me explain what I mean by that. I think when we was going through that whole Black Panther things and we was going through all these people like, not Martin Luther King, but all the other preachers, what they did is they got into themselves. Look at me, I'm doing this and doing that. But what they didn't do is take care of the generation coming up. They got into this thing, materialistic thing. I got this, I got that, and I got a voice. But did they take time to actually teach that next generation coming up?
Right.
And I think that's what makes it different to me, because I'm always talking to young black folks.
Right.
I mean, especially males. One thing I tell males to do is always have a $50 bill in your pocket. Always.
Why is that?
$50. Because if you get in a situation, that $50 bill can get
Save
you
your
out.
life.
Whether it can get you into a taxi cab so you can get out of the way, whether it can go buy you food, or whether you can help somebody, always keep a little amount of cash stuck away, hidden in your wallet someplace that you know if you got in a situation, at least you have some way to get out. So it's those little things that we have to make sure we teach our young people.
Because once we get in the system, it's locked.
Once you get in the system, it's hard to get out.
Just don't care.
No. And once you get in the system, and every time the police stops you, it comes up, and they know they can get away with a lot of
10
stuff.
Cops
They would still be doing now if it wasn't for cameras.
So why are we talking about police? Let's talk about police brutality, right? So police brutality is a big thing going on right now, right? Like we see it going on in like these low income areas going on. We also see it going on in other areas, New York and stuff, right? But right now, with cameras being posted in low income areas and the police brutality, how is it that there's a lot of things. Oh, they're not trained properly, right?
Mhm.
Like I know you have martial arts. Like how is that even possible to say you're not trained properly? Like you know what I mean? Like that's just telling me like I just trained a black belt. Oh yeah, he just going after kids. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't. You're like you be in big trouble. You go out there and whooping people.
No,
like I don't understand this.
I understand it.
Yeah.
I think when you're with somebody and you get away with stuff for so long, you get immune to it.
Right. So
I mean, yeah, the training says you can't put a choke on.
Yeah.
The training says you can't abuse nobody.
right.
But listen, they got a license from Congress.
Right.
They can do whatever they want.
want.
Are they going to get charged?
Right.
Are they going to get put in for murder?
Right.
No, until now, they got away with this stuff for the last 30, 40 years. So, you know, you get used to that power. You know, when you get power, you just keep going more and more. My question is, what happened to all the black policemen that saw it, but didn't do nothing about it?
Right.
Right. Were they hushed or were they pushed to another unit? Were they,
Right.
Oh, no, it's what's that? Protecting the blue?
That's why I say the whole damn system is corrupt.
That code blue.
The blue line, all that
The
shit.
blue line. There you go.
Yeah.
You know, because, hey, let's face it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been stopped for no reason and they come up, oh, well, somebody robbed the store that looks like you?
Of course.
Somebody did that.
Yeah,
Come on,
you
I
fit the
was in
description.
college when I first got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a college student.
Right.
Big fro, all the stuff over at San Jose State hippie, right?
Right.
Now, so they come and tackle me and throw me on the ground. I'm, you know, it's like, well, what's going on? Why are you doing it? Oh, somebody robbed a bank that looked like you.
You know,
That's the easiest thing
That
to
was
say.
the easiest
That's all.
thing.
What does look like?
Yeah, you can ask that question.
You can't even ask that because you know what they really mean. A black person did something, which he probably didn't even do.
Yeah.
Right? We're gonna check.
We're
you
gonna
out.
stop you just
We're gonna
because
stop
we
and
can.
check you out.
Right.
That is abusive of power.
Definitely.
Right.
I mean, we saw it on the news the other day. You saw it
Yes,
on
sir.
the news.
Yeah.
Where they had tackled this black person, I think it was in Georgia, whatever, threw him to the ground.
Oh,
and
when
the other police
Said,
officer came, oh, that's the wrong
It's
guy.
not him. Yeah.
By then, they didn't jack his wrist
They
up.
broke his ribs, everything.
And he was like, "Oh, it's not him."
But he was like, I'm confused. What do you mean it's not him?
But bottom line is,
Right.
they got away with
They got
it.
away with
Yeah,
it.
he did.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they suing him trying to get some money, but he got
still,
away
they
with
still
it.
gonna be on the job.
No
And he's
foul.
just going to go to the next black kid.
Yeah.
Come on, we see it. Listen, we're getting killed for outrunning, right? We're getting shot in the back.
Right.
I mean, those things are real.
Yeah.
And people have to educate themselves. And that's where we came full circle.
Right.
When we said educate yourself, you have to educate yourself. Not just on politics, but how to deal with people, how to get out of a situation, whatever it takes. I think with these young kids now, you guys got to have it. Now, you guys all saw the app, because I make sure I send it to you, where the app says if you get pulled over by a car, you get pulled over by a car, it automatically starts recording. It automatically calls you first person. We have to have that.
We have to know our rights.
Oh, yeah.
We have to know our rights.
I know
It's on that as a series. It's a series.
My life don't
But real quick, going back,
you got that one too.
going back to the question that you posed, I think another thing you said earlier, when I think Bulla asked you, you know that you can use your hand, you can fight, but you're taught to be humble.
Right.
And I think that's another thing that the police are lacking.
That's
they don't
right.
have that
That's
humbleness
You're
in them.
right.
There you go.
They're not able to see other people as human beings.
It's called power.
Right. They're on power
People
trips.
live off of power. And when you're around, say, you're around 50 people constantly that has all this power, nobody can stop them. As soon as they write a report, they're going to lie about it. Now, who the court
And
going
it's
to
starting
believe?
to sign off on it.
All right,
Good
who's
to
the
go.
court going to believe? You going in there, you got a record, or even if you don't, you're a minority.
Right.
And this guy says, well, I saw him swerving up the street. The judge automatically is going to believe.
Right, exactly. There's no way to
Your
stop
buddy ends up in jail for 6 months, but hey, now you got a record.
Now you got a record.
Okay, so I'm glad we talked about that. So my question for you is this. You know, like most of the time, a person that's like the quiet person in the group, that's the person they kind of worry about. So like as far as with the police and the brutality, everything, they're always like quick to go, rah, 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 rah. And then you always end up getting the officer at the end that walks up and is like, hey man, like I don't know about that, bro. But, you know, we're gonna have to book you, but
If it was me.
right. So with you and the background that you have with the martial arts and being the humble person that you are, if you were to be able to give some kind of tips or training to our police force right now, what would you tell them to keep them where we need to be
Stop
as
shooting
far as
people.
our community?
To be humble.
But
At least be humble.
to break the barrier from community to the policing.
It all boils down to what we teach in martial arts, and that's respect.
Right.
They're going to come off hard and
Yes.
fast. If you're a calm person, you breathe, you answer the questions very slowly, and you know how to talk to people. Listen, you can talk a policeman down, even the cop.
Yeah.
You can talk them down. You see what kind of neighborhood I live in.
Right.
When I first moved out here, on this street, once they found out a black person was moved out here, 2 of them moved out.
Wow.
One of them was the chairman of FMC,
Wow.
and one was a big contractor. I used to get stopped by the cops, and they would tell me where I live. That means that inside that jail cell,
Right.
they had already talked about this black folks that moved out into these homes out
Yeah.
here. You know, that shows how deep it is. But back to your question, when I was getting stopped and you talk to them in a very calm voice, in other words, I'm trying to get the police officer to calm down. Yes, he's going to come off hardcore,
Right.
but I got to be calm. I got to use my martial arts. And I got to say, hey, sir, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. But if you meet force with force, they're going to win
Every time.
Right.
automatically.
Right. They have the authority.
They
So
have
you're
the
saying, so
authority.
what you're saying is, you tone it down, and you'll have more power over that cop than you know, right?
You basically will.
If you
because
control
they-
yourself, you'll end up controlling him.
Because then they realize that you're human, you're not a threat.
Right.
You know, like a lot of the young brothers, first thing, get your hands up and do this.
Yeah.
And that riles them up even more.
But from their perspective, is there a way? Can you teach respect? Can you teach them to respect us as human beings? Is that
Let me tell you something. I taught a lot of police officers over my years.
okay?
And I enjoyed teaching them, right? But when we have to have a meeting and there's like 9 or 10 officers, and they get in there and they start seeing how they use this kick or that kick and kick this person over it, that was when I stopped teaching.
Okay.
Right.
They was
Because
getting
I'm
joy out of it.
teaching martial arts. I'm teaching mental things, right? You know, I want to teach education. I want to teach formation. I want to teach something that they can take to make themselves a better person. But instead, they're taking it and they're getting into that whole blue mind again,
Yeah.
and they're
Trying to
using
be
on
tough.
other people.
Right. Yeah.
Not tough.
It's not about that.
No, it's all about being calm, right? So that's where I'm coming from,
Right. Definitely.
and that's what the martial arts is
It's all
for
about
me.
definitely.
Yeah, because now I'm a calm person.
Right.
Hey,
When
too
I was-
calm.
Too
when-
calm.
When I was wait a minute, when I was in Oakland, I
You
wasn't
was-
calm.
So you was in the park.
That's the question. I know you wouldn't. I know we're gonna go somewhere else with this. But tell me this: before you got humbleness,
Yeah.
how wild were you?
Yeah, tell them about Texas.
Okay, I'm
got time.
gonna be bold, which I shouldn't be.
All right.
Myself and Quadramari, I think, was doing a tournament over in Florida, right? So we're driving down. I'm like, Ernie, stop the car, stop the car. So I go out there, and this is bar, and this is white only. So I walked into the damn bar anyway.
Yes, they would tell me.
I walked into it, everything got quiet. Give me a beer, right? Because come on, I'm young, I'm 24, I got
Right.
a black belt. I
Right.
can do just try.
You know,
it,
pressure
right?
points.
You know,
Wish a nigga would.
all that stuff. Ernie came in, man. What you doing? We gotta get out of here. It's like finally I left. Stupidest thing I ever did.
So
Back then, in those days, they could have blew myself away and buried me behind the
Never
nightclub.
been.
But, so yeah, I was stupid back then. When I was in Sobrani Park,
Yeah.
I think I was one of the better thieves around.
right.
I don't mean just going to the store, because you remember back then we had riots.
Right.
They was looting.
Right.
But
Yeah.
see, I was a little bit smarter.
Right.
I would go get me a case of liquor or whatever and hide it under the house or something and sell it to people. I mean, Oakland,
You been a
come on,
businessman.
man.
You been about your money.
No, come on. The trains used to go through.
Yeah.
We hit the trains. I mean, come on, I'm 12 years old.
Right.
We hit the trains,
Right.
get a bunch of Kellogg's, corn chips, or whatever, the breakfast frosted flakes, and then we'll go sell it back to the store.
I
Well,
love
no,
it.
I'm
I love
not
it.
saying
I
I
wish
was
I
a
could
goody
go back.
Right. I love
The only
it.
thing is when I got out of there, I got a little bit wiser, because what I had went to really going through segregation and going through busing, by the time I graduated from high school, I thought I was a robot. No, literally. I thought all this stuff was skin, but underneath was nothing but wires. I got my degrees in psychology and found out that is an actual classification when somebody is under stress, anxiety for too long.
Wow.
So what was happening to me, yes, it made me stronger.
Right.
Yes, it made me humble because I went through a lot of stuff. But at the same time, my goal is, how can I get what I learned to you guys? That's part of leadership.
Right.
And we need a lot of leadership, not just talking down to your kids and telling your kids because you want them to come home.
Yeah.
We need to get together in groups,
Right.
you know, and actually talk to people where the kids are willing to listen.
Definitely.
The question is, how do we get them to listen?
Right.
Definitely.
I
Definitely.
think the
You can text them.
Yeah, well, no, that's it.
FaceTime.
So you kind of answered my next question. So my next question was this: you've been through a lot of things and you changed a lot of people's lives. When you leave this earth, what do you want your last message to be?
Nice.
We just took a black belt test. Film this. We just took a black belt test, myself and Master Reyes. You know, we have 40 schools across the country, but we did it virtual, right? And the name of that was Supreme Legacy. See, our legacy is not just in martial arts. I think we're balanced. Because Master Reyes is so focused on the martial arts and creating stuff like the virtual testing to get everybody involved. I'm basically the opposite. I'm focusing on my community. What can I do to be better? So going back to the theme of this test, it's called Supreme Legacy. And that's what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
I want to leave a legacy that not only was I okay in martial arts, but also good in my community.
Yeah.
Because you
You're
know,
being
all
humble
it takes
again.
is
There you go again.
Be humble.
Hey, what's okay?
He said okay. He's a 10th degree black belt.
Like a white belt.
I want a few championships.
Hey, real quick, before we get back, I don't want to keep you much longer. I thank you for this time. Just rewind a little bit, going back to the riots. I know you grew up during the late riots in the 60s. Compare that to what's going on now today. Does it feel like the same energy? Does it feel different? Does it feel off? You have any opinion on it?
I got a lot of opinions. Back then, it was survival. Because of what they was doing to us was like a chase society. They kept us locked in, kept us locked down, right? I think when that whole Rodney King thing happened, where you see a bunch of white folks just beating up on this
Right.
black
And they got
man,
off.
right? And they got off. They cited a lot of riots. Now, I think the movement is different because they say if you're white and you're not talking, you're part of the problem.
Damn, right. That's
It's
it.
very simple. You're part of the problem.
Right.
So now
Shots
there's
fired.
a movement that's
Shots
not so
fired.
much white and black,
Right.
but now it goes back to the financial part. Because, hey, yeah, we're reaching out and we're getting all these little things, but because they was in this middle class, they're not getting it anymore. So they realize if they don't join us, if they don't get in there and try to stop this, eventually it's going to get to them.
Right.
Let me say one last thing. And that's my view of this world. And that goes back to you. What do you want to be remembered?
Yes, sir.
I think because of the interracial mixes of marriages and stuff, eventually it may be 1,000 years from now, but everybody's going to be this golden race.
Oh, right.
And when everybody's that golden race, we're going to all realize it's not the skin that makes you a person. You know, we're
Golden Ray, I've never heard that one.
We're talking about things that's in the future, right?
Right.
1,000 years from now,
Right.
everybody's going to be this golden race, and we'll keep going. And that's when everybody's going to start get together, along with science and stuff like that. That's going to make it outstanding. You know, it's like people like your daughter. It's a mixed thing, but everybody's going to be that golden race.
I got mixed kid. I'm doing my part.
Yeah, well,
We all got mixed kids.
But
She'd follow on us. Don't worry about it. We all do it
but
together.
it makes sense.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and when you look into the future, because really what stopped people when they first see you, we can be 100 yards away. He's black, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's German, oh shit. Oh, he's Russian, oh shit.
Right.
What we're going to do?
Right.
So I've always had that thing. You know that old song, Get On Board, the train is coming?
Right, right.
I've always thought about that. Seriously.
Right.
When we
get on
to
and
that
get left.
golden race, we're there.
Right.
Nice.
So one thing I wanted to ask too, what I was going to say is, I already know kind of like this. How does discipline going to help our youth? I know you always reached out to me about disciplining myself, even though you don't think I was listening. I was listening. Right?
I knew you were.
But how does that martial arts play a big role in that for everybody else?
Because martial arts is like a Navy SEAL.
Okay.
It teaches you skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you discipline. When you shouldn't talk, when you just got to keep moving.
Mm.
If you get to a point that 100 people running off after you, are you just going to get up and stop?
Mm.
I mean, the age-old question, they
Right.
used to ask us young.
Right.
If a cop is stopping you, do you run or do you stop and wait for him?
Hold on.
How far
What's
are we?
the situation?
What's the situation?
He's like,
Do I
right
got a warrant?
Long way to go.
No, listen, I was taught to run.
Right.
Yeah, me
No,
too.
no.
That's all I was like, is he
I was
like,
taught to
off
run.
right here? Or?
I was taught to run.
Right.
But, you know, things I think, I'm very optimistic, things is going to change.
Right.
Now, I got to say this. Are the Republicans going to see the change?
Mm.
Or the Democrats?
Mm.
I'm caught in between. Let me tell you.
Yeah, right.
Because
It's more the
my
youth that's
my
gonna see.
Republican side,
Mm.
fiscal, I like money, so I'm
Right.
gonna make sure
Right.
that
That's where you get it from.
I get that.
That's where you get it from.
I get that.
the Democratic part,
Right.
I'm going to take care of my community.
Right.
Peoples, yeah.
That's where I
So
come
what
at.
does that make me? You
You're
know,
the center.
Right.
very simple. I'm in the center,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
To my last dying days, that's what I'm gonna do.
Definitely.
Now, right now, I run a big company along with my partner, but the bottom line is, what am I going to do it when I have to step back? Because right now, I'm at a point where I'm passing the leadership onto my next generation of martial arts.
Right.
And believe me, if they can do a virtual test with that many people, I think we had like 2,000 or 3,000 people, and
Oh,
the
wow.
audience show up. But, you know, we did it with Bellator, with Viacom, with all those people, because there's the expert.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm not here to create a wheel.
Right.
Right.
I'm here to make the wheel go fast.
Right.
There you go.
So, you know, that's how I see things now. As far as a legacy, all I want to be remembered is Uncle Tony.
Uncle Tony.
Who helped the family move forward.
Uncle Tony. Hey,
I know you helped me out. That's for sure.
Hey,
definitely.
that's what I'm here for.
You definitely helped us out. You helped our viewers out. We appreciate this conversation. This has definitely been an enlightening and inspiring conversation,
I'm
man.
gonna keep it real with you, Uncle Tony. Listen, I didn't know you when I walked in here.
Right.
After us having this conversation right now, I'm proud to have met you.
Yeah.
You my uncle now too, bro.
Proud to have met you.
For
I'm
sure.
everybody's uncle.
For
Yeah,
sure,
that's right.
definitely.
I mean, but that's what it's all about. It boils down to two things.
Definitely.
Number one is family.
Yep.
Definitely.
And number
Most
two,
important thing.
what are we going to do to make them move forward?
Right.
Very
We're going to
simple.
progress our people
Definitely. I appreciate it.
with that.
Like, we're not gonna keep you. We appreciate this time. Appreciate this conversation. You guys got any last thoughts before we head out?
Yeah, Brandon parked behind your car, so you should probably. And you got your suit on.
I'm gonna move ASAP. Oh well, no problem, bro.
No,
I just appreciate
Yeah,
you and
yeah.
you gave us a lot of enlightenment. Thank you so much for taking your time out to even like link up with us to do this. I
Right.
appreciate you.
Thank you, CEO, for setting this up, man.
setting it up.
Appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate it as well.
hey, I'm good.
Everybody good?
Very good.
All right, man. Hey, well, as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Our videos will only be seen on YouTube from now on. So please hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment, man. We want to interact with you guys. So let us know what you guys thinking and feeling about each episode. Give us feedback on how we can improve this, make this podcast better for everybody. As always, your path doesn't determine your future, but your hustle and motivation will. So make sure today's the day you take your shot. We out.
We out. Thank you very much.